Hey, Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Wedding Throw 1092 and asks, am I the arsehole for being upset over not being a bridesmaid? Throwaway here because people know my regular account. I'm getting married in June. I'm going to have my friend Jim as my dude of honor and my friend Jane as my bridesmaid. Jim and I have been friends since college, but my friendship with Jane is longer and a bit more complicated. We started to be friends in high school, where we were friends with two other girls. They'd be important later. Typical teenager and 20-something drama happened, and I'm not close with the two other girls anymore. One straight up said she didn't want to be friends with me anymore. I guess the other friend just followed her lead. I'll admit that Jane and I used to be closer when we were younger, and we drifted apart, but I still considered her a close friend. When I got engaged, I asked Jane to be my bridesmaid. When I asked, she was kind of hesitant. She was engaged too and said we'd probably be planning weddings at the same time, and she was worried she wouldn't be able to devote a lot of time to my wedding. I told her it's going to be super laid back and she wouldn't have to do much, and I wanted her there, so she agreed. Planning the wedding had its own ups and downs, lots of drama from family, but Jane has been a good enough bridesmaid. My friend Jim has been planning my bachelorette, and they both went to see me get my veil. I think she could stand to be a bit more involved, but considering distance and time, she's doing enough. When Jane first got engaged, she wasn't even sure if she wanted to have a traditional wedding. She was talking about doing something really small and only inviting immediate family and close friends. It turns out she actually is going to have a ceremony and reception in the fall. I awkwardly found out over dinner, after pushing her for wedding details, that she was planning on having bridesmaids, and I wasn't one of them. She claimed it was because I live far away. Not really. We live on different cities on the East Coast and are about a train ride away. And she didn't want to bother me because I'd be busy with my wedding and marriage. To make matters worse, the two girls I had a falling out with are of course in the wedding. It hurts so much since I assumed we'd all be together during our weddings. I'm hurt. Jane and I went through a lot together, and I really want her to be a part of my wedding. I'm hurt that she doesn't feel the same way. When I told my mum, she was shocked and said how rude Jane was. My fiance said it was okay to feel hurt, that it was a dick move, but that Jane also has a right to have whoever she wants in her wedding party. Am I wrong for feeling like this? Should I confront her? I don't even know if I want her in my wedding anymore. And I got to say, I kind of agree with fiance on this one. I understand that you're going to feel hurt if you've looked at the friendship in this way, and you've, like you said, you've been through a lot together and you really thought you could be a part of each other's weddings, or at least you did, didn't you? And yes, you can invite her to be a part of your wedding, be a bridesmaid, but that doesn't mean you're entitled to be a part of her wedding. And you said yourself that you drifted apart with Jane over time, but you still consider her a close friend, but that might not be the other way round. You live separately now. She may have a stronger bond with these other two friends, and I know that doesn't make it any easier for you, and it's going to be hard for you to accept that, but that may be just the way it is. And I'm sorry because I know that's going to hurt, but I still don't think that makes you entitled to be a part of her wedding. But we're going to move to some comments first before the updates, and we're going to start with Madtown Maven, who says, you're the arsehole, your fiance has it right. It's fine for you to feel hurt, but she can have whomever she wants in her wedding. You should definitely not confront her. Friendships don't have to be equal. It's not a tit for tat. You are sounding exceptionally petty for now being all, I don't want her in my wedding anymore. Heck, in your own telling, she was being hesitant about being your bridesmaid, but you assured her it would be laid back and you'd be cool with less of a commitment. Now you are going back on that because your feelings are hurt. You acknowledge you aren't as close as you once were. As such, this shouldn't be as much of a surprise to you. Take some time and relax a bit. Acknowledge that it makes you sad, but then work on focusing on the fun times you'll share with her at your wedding. Mapping Around says, and quotes, she was worried that she wouldn't be able to devote a lot of time to my wedding. I told her it was going to be super laid back and she wouldn't have much to do, and that I wanted her there, so she agreed. I think she could stand to be a bit more involved. It goes on to say, you aren't the arsehole for being upset, but if you confront her about it, then you're the arsehole. I can understand you being hurt and you still consider her a close friend. And maybe this is the moment where you realize she may not think of you two as that close, but at the end of the day, it's her wedding and she gets to pick who her bridesmaids are. It makes even more sense if the three of them are still very close and you had a falling out with two of the girls. OP says, well, I turned myself into the arsehole. She basically confirmed that we aren't as close as we used to be, and I'm really hurt. A deleted user says, no one's an arsehole here. I 100% understand you being hurt, but if your friend is still close to your former friends, then I can understand why she didn't ask you to be a bridesmaid. It sounds like she was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place and you ended up losing out. That said, I disagree with the notion that people are automatically off the hook regarding their wedding decisions because it's their wedding and they can do what they want. I mean, yeah, they can, but that doesn't mean they're magically absolved from all social politics and graces. It's entirely possible to be rude with one's wedding planning decisions. OP responded saying, I guess it just hurts to be losing out. I think it's a matter of distance. Full disclosure, I live in DC and she lives in New Jersey, and the two people she chose instead of me live closer to her. Honestly, we didn't talk much before this. We were both busy with our lives, but I still felt this connection with her. I think this hurts more because I was abandoned by the other two friends we have in common, so her choosing them over me really hurts. And thank you for that. I know it's her wedding and she's the bride and blah blah blah, but it seems rude as fuck to be in my wedding and not ask me to be in hers. I feel better knowing that she's in the wrong here in terms of manners. A. Pauling asks, info, why did you fall out with the other two women? OP responds saying, honestly, it was a bunch of dumb teenage and 20-something drama. Essentially, I moved to a city around the same time one of my friends was living there. I got involved in her friend group and some guy she liked ended up liking me more. We dated, but he was clingy and got weird when I broke up with him. After that, the group kind of imploded and everyone blamed me. After my one friend said she no longer wanted me in her life, the other one followed. I was supposed to grab dinner with her one day and she delayed because she was hanging out with the one that hates me. I told her to forget it all and that she didn't have to see me if she didn't want to. I'll admit, it was a bit dramatic in the past, but I've grown up a lot and I hope we could kind of forgive and forget. We all used to be so close and I miss their friendship. So then OP comes in to update the post, which says, I wanted to update because things have blown up. This is going to be long. I found out about not being in the wedding a little over a week ago, so I'd been stewing for a while when I made my last post. I was a little dishonest in the first post because I was already in the process of confronting her when I wrote it. I texted her early in the morning I posted and I told her that I was disappointed by a lack of involvement in my wedding. She replied that she was sorry I felt hurt, but that she had warned me about this when I first asked her. She also mentioned that she wasn't sure what else I wanted from her. She has done everything I asked and that it seemed like Jim has everything handled for the bachelorette and hasn't reached out to her. Then I texted her about Bridesmaids. She didn't text me back all day, so I called her that evening. The conversation really didn't go well. She said she didn't reply because she was busy at work and honestly didn't know what to say. She said that she chose the people closest to her. She has known the two friends I had a falling out with since childhood, and her other two are her college roommates and her other friend from work she lived with in the past. She said that even when wedding details were murky, she knew she'd ask them. I told her that I'd always envisioned all of us planning our weddings together, and being left out of it was very painful. Her reply hurt. She said that she was sorry I was no longer friends with the two bridesmaids in her party. She truly wishes me no ill will from the past, but that they have their own reasons for ending our friendship. Then she said she was honestly surprised that I asked her to be a part of my wedding, and that she wouldn't have even been surprised if she didn't get an invite. I spoke to my therapist the next day about it. She pretty much echoed what people said here, and I was putting way too much pressure on Jane and was inappropriately using her wedding as a friend reunion. Oh, and my fiance and I got into a huge fight about the wedding. I texted Jane after and she was nice and listened to me rant, but it felt awkward. On top of it all, I got to see her post a lovely Instagram story about shopping for a wedding dress with all her bridesmaids and getting drinks after. I'm so over weddings. I wish I was eloping. I'm a little jealous that Jane seems to be having an awesome time planning hers. Making friends in your 30s is tough, but I thought I had a few close ones I could rely on, but I guess I was wrong. So thanks Reddit. You tried to warn me, but I was already set on being the arsehole when I posted. My advice to people upset about bridesmaids and groomsmen: don't question their choices and accept whatever role they want you to play in their wedding. And we do have some more updates to this one in a second, but I've got to jump in and just say that after the therapist told OP that she was inappropriately using her wedding as a friend reunion, and getting plenty of clues from Jane that, the friendship isn't as strong as OP thinks it is, to then text Jane and dump all this stuff on her after you had an argument with your fiance just felt totally inappropriate as well to me. Don't get me wrong, I still do feel sorry for OP that after all this time she thought she had a real close friend, and then to realize you don't have it has got to hurt. But I also think there's got to be a point where you've got to accept it as well. But OP went on to update their post again, which says, "I wrote a long story in Am I the Arsehole? Look at my post history if you want details, and I feel lost. Long story short, I picked someone who I thought was a close friend to be my bridesmaid. She's done what she's been asked to do, but hasn't gone above and beyond to do anything extra. She's also getting married later this year. I'm invited, but I'm not a bridesmaid. To make matters worse, 2 people I had a falling out with are in her wedding. We were all friends in high school. We're all in our early 30s now, and it hurts that they're all still friends and I'm being excluded. I had a big session with my therapist yesterday, and I realized that I kind of strong-armed her into doing this. She tried to say no, that she would be too busy with her own wedding to give me the time and attention I needed, but I convinced her that it would be fine and that I wanted her to be a big part of my day. I think that she's a fucking adult and could have said no, but what do I know? I'll admit I thought we were closer than we actually are in real life. We were really close in high school, but drifted apart after college. I still considered her a close friend, even though we didn't talk much. I just feel like now she has this whole life without me, with all of these friends, and I'm left in the dust. Even seeing her bridal party makes me jealous. I feel like I didn't know who to ask, and she has 4 best friends that are bending over backwards for her. My friend posted this super cute Instagram story about her shopping with her friends for her dress and celebrating after. I got so upset and cried and threw my phone across the room. I'm angry as hell at her and want to kick her out of the bridal party. I feel betrayed and used, but I don't know who else I would ask. I don't have a lot of friends, and my maid of honor is my guy friend from college. Why are bridesmaids even a thing? The whole idea is designed to make drama and hurt everyone's feelings. On top of it all, planning the wedding has been a nightmare. My parents, divorced, are using it as an excuse to try and outdo each other. My fiance's family is dysfunctional and don't like me much. His mum is a control freak and planned everyone else's wedding, and she's trying to do the same for mine. We keep arguing about the wedding and had a huge blow up about it yesterday. We're pouring so much money into this wedding and I can't wait for it to be over. Can someone make me feel better? Post about their wedding drama and how everything worked out in the end. I'm at the end of my rope. My wedding is in less than 2 months and I'm not excited about it all. OP then updated the post again a month later, which says, "Hey all, I don't know if anyone remembers my Reddit meltdown from about a month ago, but I've been getting some nice messages in my inbox asking me for an update. The truth is that not a lot has changed and I'm still kind of miserable about the wedding. Things with my bridesmaids are awkward to say the least. I'm kind of embarrassed about how everything went down, and now I feel like she's kind of keeping me at a distance. She has her dress and has been good with updating me on her outfit and texts to chat about how planning is going. But she's been tight-lipped about her wedding. If I ask her anything, she just says it's going good and leaves it at that. To make things worse, she's in full bride mode with her friends, and I keep seeing Instagram stories pop up with cute planning details. It's hard not to feel extremely jealous, left out, and angry when I see her making bouquets with her friends and chatting about taco bars for the reception. I don't want to say that fight ruined our friendship because it's clear we just aren't that close anymore, but I really wish I just kept my mouth shut. My fiance's extended family is driving me nuts. They're asking about bringing +1s when we're almost a month out from the wedding. I'm so pissed because I think it's rude to even ask, and that if it was really important, they should have brought it up to me when they first learned about the wedding. My fiance also doesn't like to talk to me about the wedding anymore. He says whenever I bring something up, we end up fighting, so he'd rather just stop talking about it, period. I know his family is pissing him off too, but he refuses to confront them in any way. He just says that this is the way they are, and that I need to learn how to deal with it. So here I am about a month out from my wedding with pretty much zero enthusiasm for it. Things are awkward with my bridesmaid. My new family is pissing me off, and my fiance has pretty much shut down and refuses to deal with anything. I guess I updated because I just want a place to rant. Does anyone have any advice on how not to make my friend's wedding hurt me so much? Any stories about weddings that aren't the magic days they thought they were? Tips for dealing with fiancés that refuse to deal with their insane families? And then the OP moved back onto the Am I the Arsehole subreddit with another question asking am I the arsehole for texting an old friend to clear the air before a big event. Some of you may remember me from a thread I posted here a while back about being upset over not being a bridesmaid. My wedding has come and gone. Beautiful day despite some drama and hiccups, but my friend is coming up and I have a new problem. The two women I'm no longer friends with are obviously planning her bridal shower and I'm invited. When I saw my old friend's name on the invite, she's handling RSVPs, I panicked a bit. I called my friend/bridesmaid to make sure it was okay for me to come. She said of course and that she didn't anticipate any drama. She claimed that the two friends really had no ill will about what happened and that the day should be fun. There will be a lot of other people there to hang out with and it should be a good time. I asked if she thought I should reach out to clear the air beforehand. She said it wasn't necessary. I asked her if she thought it was a bad idea. She just repeated that it wasn't needed. I was feeling really anxious about it, so I decided to text both of the friends. Oh no. I said I was married now. I was excited to reconnect and that I hoped we could put all our differences aside and be together for the bride and celebrate her. They responded with general, glad you can come, can't wait to celebrate bride. And I was a little hurt. I'd hoped for something that was more reassuring, that the day would be okay and there would be no weirdness. When I told my husband how I felt, he was shocked that I even texted them. He claimed it felt like the message was actually trying to stir up drama. I don't think what I said was inappropriate or rude. I don't want my friend's day to be ruined because of some petty drama, and I don't want to feel uncomfortable during this. It's been hard enough seeing my friends post all of the wedding fun she's having. I just didn't want to walk into a bad situation. Reddit, am I the arsehole for sending those texts? And I've got to say myself, and it might sound horrible, but the more and more the post went on, the more sympathy I lost for this situation. I understand anxieties. I understand meeting people that you lost connection with over time or had an argument with in the past, but he was reassured a couple of times that they had no ill will. I mean, they invited you. That's a bridge in itself. You asked again, seeing if you should reach out beforehand, and you was told it wasn't necessary. You text anyway and got, glad you can come, can't wait to celebrate the bride, and that's it. And then you was hurt by that as well, that you was expecting more. I don't know what you was expecting. Begging you to come, I really don't know. And for your husband to turn around and say to you, that the message was actually trying to stir up drama or felt that way. And unfairly or not, it felt that way to me as well. But I'm interested in what some of the comments might say on this one, and they might not have the context from the previous post, they might just be going off this post, so you have to take that into account as well. Hurricane says you're the arsehole. The day isn't about you, but it seems like you think everyone is focused on your situation. Your friend said it was not needed. Why did you ask if you were going to message them anyway? I don't think you're not trying to stir up drama, but by letting your insecurities affect other people, it sure does seem like it. Sailor Chibi says, no one's an arsehole here. I don't think you're an arsehole for sending those texts, but I do think you'll be an arsehole if you push it any more. Those women respond tactfully and gracefully. They are not responsible for massaging your anxiety over the situation. Take them at their word, go, have fun, and act like everything is okay. Contemplative Raisin says no one's an arsehole here, but forget about the drama. This really is about celebrating the bride, so stop thinking about your fears. If everyone says that they've moved on, then you should too. I personally think that message your friend sent you was appropriate. A deleted user says, no one's an arsehole here, but I do think you're overthinking it. I've been in an awkward situation of going to events with people who are former friends, and after all is said and done, I realized my anxiety was for naught. Just try to have fun. I think you have a better time than you expect. And one more comment from Petty Disaster who says, not the arsehole. But you may be making a bigger deal out of this than you need to. It sounds like everyone is just going to be focused on the bride to be, and you're doing your best to move that focus. I understand feeling uncomfortable, but just remember why you are there. And now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Do you have another point of view on the matter? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.